The Tesla monitoring app is the most important piece of software for your solar and energy system. As someone that has been using Tesla products for the last 5 years, along with installing them, I'll take you through every feature in this updated walkthrough of the Tesla monitoring app. Whether you're tracking solar production or reviewing energy flow, this app is packed with features that will help you make the most of your clean energy system, and there's a lot probably that you don't even realize that you're missing out on. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Powerhouse. My name is Anthony Sakari. We're currently sitting in my basement, my 3 Powerwalls and my solar panels on my roof. And in this video, we are gonna do an updated Tesla app video walkthrough. Just go over all the new things that are interesting to me, that I'm using, that I'm seeing, that I'm talking to a lot of our customers that they're loving. So this app is packed with information, and just like you get over-the-air updates for your cell phone, or if you own a Tesla car, you get updates to your car, this app is also continuously getting better. So one of the first things I want to go through is not even the app, it's actually the widget on the home screen. So here's too much information, but this is my home screen of my phone, and what you could see here is this little widget that shows my solar production and my home's usage. So here it is. Right now it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I know just quickly at a glance, I used 103 kilowatt hours today with my home used, and my solar produced 21.4. So just like that, I could see it. And then if I want to dive into that app, I just click on it and bam, I am right in my interface for my home, which is pretty cool. Now, the second cool feature that came out, it's been out for a little while now, but it wasn't out when I made that first Tesla video, is there's a drop-down. So in this drop-down, you can click through any of your Tesla products. Your Cybertruck, my Cybertruck is in here, the Model Y is in here, and my home is here. So if I want to go into any of them, if I just want to click on the Cybertruck, I click on it, and I am right in the Cybertruck. And then if I want to go back to my home, I click right in the home. Or you could do it the traditional way and just swipe left and swipe right between each of your products. So let's go through this one by one. On the app, you have on the top, it shows you your home, and that interface has changed a little bit there. The interface got cleaner. You could see the Powerwall, the energy that can come off the Powerwall. You see what's coming from the grid right now. I'm getting 5.8 kilowatt hours from the grid. My home is using 6.8. My solar is producing 1.3. It's a cruddy, cloudy day outside, but we're still producing solar, but I'm pulling from the grid. And when my battery is discharging, you'll be able to see my battery discharging as well. And that's something I really love on the Tesla app is you could see all the grid lines going. You could see the solar is yellow. When the battery is discharging, it's green. And you could see from the grid, it's that gray that's coming from the grid. So that interface is really pretty cool on there, the way it makes it look. Then if we go under, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs on here, starting with energy tab. So let's dive into the energy tab first and see if there's anything new on there. So on the energy tab, you could see all of these things on here. You could see the home, the vehicle, the Powerwall, the grid. So all of those on there are showing what you pulled from the battery, what the car used, or what the home used, or what you pulled from the grid. So on each of those, you're able to see Bianca. I'm glad we're able to pause. Does Mia want to join in this video? So we just had a special visitor in the basement. So when we're going through our energy production and consumption, why our energy has been going up over the past 8 months is we have little Mama Mia that's in the house too. So this is a new addition to the Powerhouse, and this is why more energy is getting used than ever before, and we're having to upgrade our solar. So Mia, we got to dive back into this app. I'm going to hand you back over to Mommy, okay? Good? High five? Good job. So let's dive into the energy tab. That's our closest one to the top. We'll start there. So something to know, let's just start on the top. You could see these 3 dots. You could download your data at any time. So if you're trying to pull an Excel sheet and see what you used, you could download your data from that tab. Also, you can click on Learn About Your Energy Graphs, and it'll bring you right to this Tesla page where it can go through all of them. It shows you how to use your energy graphs, takes you through your energy flow, history and time scales, all of it. So I'm just gonna give you my experience on what I'm using on the app and what excites me and what I talk to our customers a lot, what in getting their feedback, what they like. So right now, if you go on the Tesla app and you can click anything, day, month, year. So let's just stick on day in this view. And in this view, when you hold your finger over the graph and you slide it, you could see what you generated, what the home is using. You could also see on the bottom, vehicle. You could see how much your vehicle pulled from the grid or from the batteries. And it's just really cool at a glance to see all of that. And on the bottom here, you'll see home. And here on the home, you could see what the home used. So you could see this, it looks like a plateau here. This is pulling from the grid, and where it's consistent of 12, this is usually the vehicle getting powered up. So we're charging the electric car, then it drops down. So what time did it drop down at? It dropped down at roughly 6 a.m., 5:50 a.m. in the morning. And then you could see your what your home uses throughout the day. It's crazy, it's up and down. It's usually never consistent. So that's your home's usage. Then next you could see your car. So I did not charge the Tesla today, just a little bump of energy. The car pulled 1 kilowatt hour. So it charged yesterday, it didn't need any charge today. Also, please keep in mind, you're only able to see your car in here if you have a Tesla charger. If you have a wall box charger or a different vehicle charging structure for your home, you're not gonna be able to see it in here unless you have the actual Tesla charger. Next, you'll see the Powerwall. So I have my Powerwall set to 100% backup because we're not in a time of use zone. We have net metering, so there's really no need for me to pull on my batteries. But in here, you could see the charge level of my batteries are at 100%. If they were discharging, you'd be able to see them on this graph. The next one is the solar. This is awesome that you're able to see the solar on here. If you scroll your finger over the graph, you could see your peak times that you hit. So my highest generating time was at 10:55 this morning, and I hit 8.3 kW at that moment. And it overlays all of the graphs where it'll show what your home was, what the solar was producing and what your home was using. And you could see the delta in between both. And then on this one, you could see grid. So what you imported from the grid. So this is when the middle of the night, when we're pulling from the grid, you could see that plateau again there. Then it goes down, still pulling from the grid. And where the yellow drops down on the graph, that's actually solar that we're sending back to the grid at those given times. So that's why it's going down. We're exporting solar to the grid, and at that moment of 11:30, we exported 2.2 kW back to the grid. So this is everything on the energy tab. You can go really in depth in it. Really the things that I like to do on here is maybe at a glance look at the vehicle charging and how many kWs the car pulled at different times of the day. So we'll back out of this, and the next thing we're gonna go into is what I feel is the most important tab and the easiest tab to read, which is the impact. So when you go on the impact tab, you're gonna see on the top self-powered. If you're not on time of use, if you are straight net metering, this graph is what confuses our customers the most, because this is showing how much your home is self-powered. It doesn't mean how much solar offset you have. This is just showing how much renewable energy is covering your home. So today, for instance, I'm still pulling 72% from the grid, 5% from the Powerwall, and 23% from solar. So 28% self-powered. I'm sorry, this is lifetime. Let me go under day. So under day for today, 16% solar, 0% Powerwall, 84% grid for today. Again, it's a crummy day outside. And then you scroll down, you can see the energy value. So today we save $5 with solar production. But this is where it really matters. This is at a glance the chart that I look at the most. This gives you all the data you need to know if your solar is producing and what your offset is right here in solar offset. So for today, my solar produced 21 kW, my home used 105 kW. I can go at a month glance. Month to date, my solar produced 2,709 kW, my home used 2,670 kW. So I know this month I am at 100% offset. And then I can go back to the month before for August. I was at 132% offset. And then I can go back to July. I was at 98% offset. Go back one more month to June, and you could see I was at 74% offset. And I believe June is when I actually added more solar to my home. So it's awesome to be able to see at a glance your solar offset. The next thing that I absolutely love on the Tesla app, and this has been here since day one, but I feel like we forget about it sometimes, including myself, it's view all your backup history events. All of our customers forget that they even have Powerwalls at times because when they lose power, it just kicks over to solar, to battery backup immediately. In this tab, you're able to see all of your events that when the Powerwalls have kicked on. So here it is, August 29th, 5 minutes, July 10th, an hour, June 24th, 5 minutes, May 4th, 44 minutes. It's amazing how many times you lose power, and when you have a battery, you don't even realize it. When you don't have a battery, you realize it a lot more. And in our area, if I'm just looking from just this year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times we've lost power this year. So awesome to be able to go to backup history and check out all the times you lost power. So now let's back out of this tab and we're gonna go into settings. There's a lot of information here in settings. Phone pairing, how to pair your phone to the Powerwalls. But let's go into the Powerwall setting. In your backup reserve setting, again, we have net metering. I do not have to exercise my battery every day, so I keep it at 100%. I could very easily drop this all the way down to 0. And right when you go to 0, it's gonna say low backup reserve, doesn't recommend it, at least keep it at 5%. Depending on where you are in the country, my buddy Mike French from Eco Solar in Hawaii, they have theirs, they're exercising their batteries. They're using them at given times of the day when peak power is the most. We're lucky right now in New York, we have net metering, we don't have to, so I keep it at 100%. So that's why we're in self-powered. If I was in time-based control, I know in Long Island, another installers out there, they're going to time of use some of the utilities out there. If you were in time of use, you would click on time-based control and you could actually select when you want your batteries to discharge. If I wanted them to discharge between 1 in the afternoon and 4, you're able to do that. So let me just click mine back into self-powered mode because that's what I'm in here. The next thing is going into utility fixed rate. So my utility is Central Hudson. You could put in the rate that you're buying electricity from them at. Mine is at 23 cents and we sell it back at 23 cents. Why it's important to do this is because when you want to see your savings on all of the other tabs, your savings is going to be coming from your kilowatt hour price that you put in there. So the other thing on here is grid charging. Enable this when you're allowed to grid charge. Powerwall will use the grid to charge to your backup reserve and for daily use and time-based control. When disabled, Powerwall will charge only from solar. So let's just say, depending on what your utility is, you could turn this on or turn this off. Basically what this means is when the Powerwall is depleted and there is no solar, but you do have grid, you're able to charge your Powerwall from the grid. So that's all this toggle means. Grid charging is, can you charge your Powerwall from the grid? And that's all jurisdictional based, depending on where you are in the country. So that's grid charging. The next thing is vehicle charging. So if we click on that, vehicle charging, I'm just gonna read off what vehicle charging is and then we can dive into it a little more. Powerwall will continue to charge your Tesla vehicle. It will stop or slow charging to meet your home's power and energy needs. Turn off this feature if your system stops generating solar power during an outage when your Powerwall isn't full. So basically, when you lose power and there's a grid outage, at what point do you want to have a backup reserve? So on my home, once the Powerwall hits 40%, it's gonna shut the car off from charging and say, no, I need at least 40% for the home. I need to reserve all this power for the home and our essential needs, shut off the car from charging. You could adjust this to 100% or 95% and say, no, basically don't share anything with the car. We need to reserve all of our power for the home. So right now, we have this set up with Tesla, the Model Y, and you can click on it like I did there and get more information on vehicle charging. I keep it at 40%, but I also have the span as well. So you could, govern this however you wish. But let's back out of this. The next thing, Storm Watch. Again, one of the sickest features with the Tesla Powerwall is Storm Watch. And the beauty is you do not have to do anything. What is Storm Watch? It automatically protects your home against severe weather events, which may cause outages when Storm Watch activates. Powerwall will charge to your maximum capacity for additional backup protection. During a storm, you may tap the banner on the home screen to opt out of this current event. So basically, if you're using your Powerwalls in self-powered mode, and let's just say you're at 20%, it's gonna be like, dude, stop. We're gonna stop using battery power. We're gonna take all the solar that's coming in from the sun right now in your panels, send it all to the batteries. We're no longer gonna be using the batteries. We're gonna charge the batteries because a storm is coming and we need to be prepared for it. Storm Watch is awesome. It's a no-brainer to turn it on. I have mine toggled on. Why would you not toggle on Storm Watch? It protects you and basically is the AI that does the thinking for you. If a storm is coming, it has your home ready for the storm. So back out of this, utility rate plan. This is where you could put in your rate plan. I'm on a fixed rate plan with Central Hudson. It's a little easier for me to manage my rates. We're at 24 to 23 cents a kilowatt hour, depending on the year, but that's our average price. A lot of settings in here that you could adjust. Next is Wi-Fi. You could see what network you're on, update your password, change your Wi-Fi settings. And also another cool feature that not a lot of people use is you can manage access. So I'm able to have my wife, Joe, who works with us at New York State Solar Farm. I shared my app with him as well to use and show customers. But you could share your app with different people in the family where you could all have access. So let's just say you have a Model Y and you have solar for your home and battery backup. You could just share the access to the solar and not share access to your car charging. So the next thing that we're going to go into is go off grid. So when you go off grid, you have to set up your phone pairing. And then when you set up the phone pairing, you're able to toggle and shut your main breaker basically in your gateway from your phone. I do not like doing this. You can do it. It's just software based. And I find that if you want to go off grid, shut the main breaker in the gateway and test your off grid mode. If you're in Hawaii or these other areas where you don't have a gateway or have a main breaker, then yeah, use the go off grid mode. That's a perfect perfect for you guys to use. That's really probably the only way you can shut your system off and test it in off grid mode. So there's a lot of updates that have happened on the Powerwall app, and I hope this was helpful. This was just a light overview. You can go a lot deeper into this on time-based controls, and a lot of our customers dig deep into it, but we always, at least in our territory, resort back to keeping our batteries at 100% because we don't have time of use, we have net metering, and just enjoying the storm watch mode that you don't have to do anything, your home is ready for a storm, and to look at all of the backup events is pretty sick to be able to do that as well. So we got some questions and comments on the last video we made going through the Tesla app, and I wanted to dive into those and answer them here. So the first question we got is, I don't understand why you would keep batteries at 100%. Why not use them at night to prevent using power from the grid when the sun has set? So it's a great question, and hopefully we went through it in this video earlier, but we have net metering. So we have 1-for-1 net metering. Basically what that means is if I'm buying a kilowatt hour from my utility company for 20 cents, when my solar is generating, it's exporting and giving me a credit of 20 cents. So I'm using the grid as my bank, my battery bank, I guess you could say. So there's really no incentive for me to use the batteries at night when I'm sending and exporting all that power throughout the day to my utility company, and they're giving me credits. So I could use those credits when I need them, which is at nighttime. But it's a great question, and totally, in other jurisdictions and utilities, it wouldn't make sense to do what I'm doing. And you should be using the batteries at night if they're on a time of use plan. The next question we got is 100% backup reserve versus battery health. Will keeping your batteries at 100% and not cycling them for long periods of time affect the battery health? Will it affect it with LFP chemistry on the Powerwall 3? So it's a great question, and we've been actually going back and forth with this a little bit, but through my experience, what I've seen, we used to keep our batteries at 90%, 85%. It's similar to your car. When you get in your Tesla car and it says recommended battery level 80%. But what I've seen from our battery systems, and please comment any other solar installers that are on the back end of PowerHub looking at this, but what we see is when you leave your batteries at 100%, they do subtly discharge and recharge to keep battery health of the battery. So even keeping them at 100%, you still will have some discharge throughout the week. It's similar to a generator. When you see these Generac generators on people's homes where once a week they'll turn on just to maintain themselves, the Tesla Powerwalls do a similar thing where they'll discharge a little power just to maintain the battery health. So this next question is very informative video. Thanks for making it. After watching it, I looked at the app, and the display on the app shows that my panels are producing enough energy to cover the needs of the house, and there is even a little left over. However, the app shows that produced energy is being distributed to the house and to the battery while simultaneously taking energy from the grid. Is there a way to change the settings on the app so rather than taking from the grid, power would go only to the house, then charge the battery when there is excess being produced? I would like the needs of the house addressed before anything is distributed to charging the battery. I would prefer not to draw from the grid if at all possible. Thanks. So I think I understand what you're saying, but not really, but I'm gonna answer it to the best I can. If the batteries are drained and the solar is producing, it's always gonna wanna recharge the batteries. You want the batteries recharged because that's how you're gonna power the home in the event of an outage. So correct me if I'm wrong, anyone out there, but if you drain your power walls, the next day when the sun comes out, it's gonna be diverting that solar to the power walls, because in some territories, you're not allowed to charge your power walls from the grid, and you need that solar to charge the batteries. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions or dive into the Tesla app more than we have in looking at these things, write in the comments below your questions or any feedback that you have on it. Liking and subscribing to the video always helps us out, and for sure, thank you for watching.